And what are we looking at the most? So, the heart. This here is the attempted mix and play. This can also include, as we're engaging in the inward work, to feel, thus seal this, because we know it's a process, right? Is fiery darts and flaming arrows as well. When we start coming into a heartfelt relationship, you can expect a little bit of pushback with this. It's unseen, so that's why we put on the full armor of God. We're protecting this. We have our protection prayers. All right? We're honoring this process as there are things that want to hinder this process. And because it's to do with the heart, it sometimes can make the seeing not as clear. It's not as clear, it's foggy, all sorts of things are happening. You know, if you feel the topsy-turvy, and where it feels like you're going crazy. That's as you're working on the heart posture. All right, so the heart, the eyes, mouth. Focus on the heart first so that the eyes and the mouth can have clarity. So this here, what this is attempting with all we have listed, including that, is leaks. You could say leaks to this heart posture. And what we know as trauma. So it's trying to cause trauma. And let's say you're also not engaging in the inward work. What's happening here regarding the unclean spirits, creepy crawlies, is wanting to use the vessel, harsher truth. So what's happening with humanity is they are being used and manipulated and taken advantage of. And we don't want that. We don't want you to be taken advantage of. Once you understand this, you realize, oh, maybe I have. And we have been taken advantage of. Okay? Based on all of the trauma. So based on this trauma, the leaks, it's causing the heart posture to be distorted, to be unclean. The unclean spirits want the unclean, want that environment to dwell in. They want to dwell in that so that it can come in and out, provoke here or there, persecute, it's generated, thus it's operated out of the mouth. The actions would be to try to destroy something, to try to sabotage, to try to, This then gets more open and susceptible to such stems, to where it's almost as if it's inflated. It's almost as if, so you get that whole inflated ego. There's no sense of identity here. So they're trying to, when you're coming from this distorted, unclean lens, they're trying to find their identity in another. Okay? This is if it's got these patches, these leaks, right? And trauma to this. The mix and play is coming in and out. Do you see that? It's trying to find their identity in another, and this is where you get the whole living vicariously and trying to have what another has, and just masking taking on their ways, taking on how they move and how they carry themselves, whatever it is, right? How they speak, and portraying that, okay? Because they don't have their own thing going on, which is unique to them, and they haven't looked at this to be able to then exude the fruit of the Spirit to what's unique to them. Because we all have this heart posture. It's just what we're allowing and what we're not allowing. Okay? So now that you know, we can then with His help start to patch up these leaks. So we're looking at the extensions. We're looking at not what always is coming in to try to hinder, but what can we engage in to where we're not letting this happen, right? What can we engage into where we're not letting this happen? We can look at the extension, so distractions, temptations, addictions, and what would they stem into? And the fiddles and fidgets from the backwards would be, eye rolls, coughs under breath, death stares, grunts and grumbles. Okay, when this hasn't been filled. It's looking at you and what you have, and when you're not being able to take what another has as your own, right? And you're being caught out for that, you might want to undermine what they have. Do you see that? Does this make sense? So the trauma to the heart posture is like having no peace, getting caught up in the mix and play. You have no sense of direction. You're swimming in that negativity, toxicity, and to make yourself feel better, yes, you undermine. Misery loves company. You might get others to also undermine as well. So the conclusion, solution, takeaway is to, again, welcome the invite the welcome, okay? Tip the scales from unclean to clean, hardened to softened. And with this then, this is where you can take the pain of trying to infiltrate or trying to cause trauma to your heart posture, your beautiful heart posture, and turn that into purpose. This is what you use. This is what we're saying you use. You use this to turn your pain into purpose. When you use that to turn pain into purpose, we have more of this happening. It's where we're walking around with a clean lens, clear heart lens. And we can help another turn their pain into purpose if they're going through the same thing. This soul wants this for you more than anything in the world.